What's up, y'all? It's your girl Chanel from Complex Simplicity, and welcome to another segment of Candid Talk with Chanel. That's right, Candid Talk with your girl. So I haven't done one in a while, and this may be a two-in-one kind of Candid Talk with Chanel. So the first question is, or let me paint it this way. Do you know what your strengths are? If someone were to ask you, what are the things that you do really well? Would you be able to rattle off these things quickly? Or would you really have to sit and think about what exactly are the things that you do amazingly well? I ask this because in my line of work, I'm in the social work field, as many of you know by now. I work with a lot of foster parents, and when I'm doing their recertifications, one of the questions that I have to ask them all the time is, what are your strengths as a foster parent? When I'm training foster parents or prospective foster parents, we talk a lot about strengths and needs, but for this Candid Talk with Chanel, I want to stick with the strengths, right? And when I find that I'm asking my foster parents for them to be able to list, highlight, describe, express the things that they do very well, I would say 60% of them seem to feel uncomfortable when having to answer this question. Now, some would be like, what do you mean they seem to be uncomfortable? Uncomfortable meaning either one, they don't really know how to answer the question because they never really thought about their strengths, so they feel like they really can't list what they do well. Or two, meaning they know their strengths, they know the things that they do amazingly well, but they feel uncomfortable having to talk about themselves in a positive way. I always say to my foster parents when I'm training them, I notice that there are a lot of us as humans who will rattle off the 5 things that we feel like are wrong with us, or the 5 things that we don't do well, the 5 things that we hate about ourselves. But when asked to list 5 things that you love about yourself, or 5 things that you do very well, 5 things that make you that bomb dope person you are, it's like crickets, crickets, crickets. And I'm like, we have to be able to know our strengths. Yes, it's important for us to know our needs, meaning the challenges, the different things within ourselves that we have to work on and get better at and get stronger at. But it's just as important to know what you're good at and the areas within yourself that are strong, right? Because in life, we got to rely on our strengths a lot of times to get through some things out here, right? And I always will add also with God, because I'm a Christian and I firmly believe that He is the one that gives us what we need to get through what we need to get through. But I also believe that He gives us certain strengths on purpose that are to help us in all areas of our lives. And so my question to you lovely people out there is, if I were to ask you to name 3 strengths, 3 great things about yourself, 3 things that you do extremely well, would you be able to rattle it off and say, I do this well, I do this, I do this? Or would you really kind of fall into that 65 percentile of the foster parents I work with that are kind of like uncomfortably trying to answer this question? If someone were to say, Chanel, let's put you to the test. What are 3 things that you do well? A lot of times I'll say I'm a very patient person. I don't just act off of impulses, and I'm not a reactive kind of personality. So if something crazy is happening around me, I'm able to think through craziness, high pressured moments. I function very well under high stress in very stressful environments, hence why I've been in the social work field for almost 13 years now. And of course, my 3rd strength would be I'm a confident woman. Sorry, I'm stumbling on my words. I'm a very confident woman who knows who she is and believes in herself, right? And who loves who she is. And so those are the 3 things that easily would rattle off rattle out of my mouth if someone were to ask me, whether that's in a job interview, whether that's in casual conversation with family and friends, whether that's on a date. Like say I was single and I was out here on a date, I would be able to answer those questions. And there are other strengths, of course, that I believe that I do have, but those are just 3 that come to mind off the back. And so I just want to encourage us out there to be aware of the things we do well. Know what your strengths are. You're dope. You're bomb. We all do things very well. All of us. You can be, I don't know, the worst of people out there. There's always good in everybody. There's strengths that we all have. It's up to us to tap into them and to be able to identify what they are. So please let me know, comment under this video clip as far as what your 3 strengths are, and or if you feel like you would struggle with being able to answer that question, let me know why. Let's talk about it further. No judgment, but maybe, you know, a conversation could help all of us, right? And I kind of wanted to go into another segue into something else, another Candid Talk with Chanel. And I'm actually trying to get back on focus and remember what that is. Oh, is blood thicker than water? My husband and I were having a conversation with one another the other night, and you know, we were just talking about different things and you know, we've experienced in life and different relationships, friendships, familyships. And I, you know, said this would be a great Candid Talk with Chanel. You know, in fact, is blood thicker than water? My husband and I actually have a difference of opinions regarding this very topic. I was raised, of course, by my 2 parents. I love you, Mom and Dad. You're everything, right? And my dad's side was more of the family-oriented side, the Southern side. You know, don't get me wrong, have issues and problems like any family. But as a family, my dad's side we would do the family reunions. We would, you know, come together for the holidays, Christmas dinner, Thanksgivings, things of that nature. Now, my mom has her side of the family, which is the Bayesian West Indian side. And growing up, I was really only connected to like my cousins, not really to like my grandparents on that side, or like aunts, uncles, and things of that nature. And that's for a lot of reasons. I've been very vocal, and my mom has a book out called Called to Suffer by Patricia Stewart, which talks about her childhood and the unfortunate things that she had to go through, right? Didn't have parents the way she should have, who really took care of her. You know, her grandparents raised her, and then she was on her own from young. And so my mom wasn't as connected to family, or nowhere near as connected to family the way my dad was, right? And so a lot of my childhood memories and being with family was more so on my dad's side, with the exception of my cousins on my mom's side. And to be honest with you, my mom, and seeing stories that I've heard and her expressing her perspective about certain things that happened as to why her and her siblings do not have a connected relationship like most siblings would or should. You know, my mom kind of taught us from early that you shouldn't let anyone treat you unkind, unlovingly, or unloving. You should not let anyone treat you with disrespect, because you're only opening the door and allowing detrimental things to happen to you. You know, when we let people get away with treating us in crazy ways, it only gives them the message, or sends them the message, that it's okay to treat me this way, and it's not, right? And so I was able to see the family members that my mom was connected to, and how good she was to them, and how connected that relationship was. But then I also saw that there was a lot of a lack of connection within her family, but I got it and I understood. And then I saw at my dad's family, you know, more of a connectivity, even though they had issues like everybody else. Everybody's family has their stuff that they go through, problems they sweep under the rug. But till this day, my dad's side, you know, we will still manage to get together, or we're trying to get better with getting together. And so I take you through all of that to say this. My perspective on if blood is thicker than water is yes and no. And my thing is, if we're family and we're good to each other, absolutely blood is thicker than water. If we're family and you're constantly doing things that can affect my well-being or my family's well-being, whether that's like my own kids and my own spouse or whatever, if you're doing things to undermine me, you're doing things out of spite or out of jealousy, I'm not, just because we have the same DNA running through our veins or blood running through our veins, that's not gonna make me feel that I'm gonna go hard for you, hard in the paint, when you're treating me like crap. When I actually have friends who we don't have the same bloodline, but they treat me like how family should treat one another. So in that sense, blood is absolutely not thicker than water. And I learned that through seeing what my mom has gone through and just seeing certain things in general within my lifetime. And so my thing is this: if we're family and we're good to each other, we hold each other down, we are supporting each other, we're there and have each other's best interests at heart, right? When you cry, I cry. When you laugh, I laugh. When you need prayer, I'm praying for you. I'm there for you. Blood is absolutely thicker than water, right? That bond is unstoppable, because not only are we like so close, like how friends could be close, but we're family. So that's a whole other level. But if you're out here trying to set me up and sabotage certain situations, you hate to see me win or do well in life, you're praying for my demise, you're actually envious and jealous to the point where it could be detrimental to me and my immediate family, then guess what? Blood is not thicker than water. Let me know what your thoughts are. My husband feels, his perspective is more so that blood is flat out thicker than water, regardless of what the treatment is. And maybe more so pertains to like an immediate family, whether that's your parents, your siblings, things of that nature. So we differ with opinions. My thing is it depends on the treatment and the respect level that we have for one another. Whereas he feels more like, nope, blood is literally thicker than water. We got the same blood running through our veins, then you're gonna get a pass with certain things as someone else who's not of relation to me would. So it just got me wondering, what does everybody else feel about this? What is your perspective on this? Do you agree with me where it's a yes and no, it depends on how you're treating me situation, if you have my best interest at heart kind of thing? Or are you more like my husband where it's like, regardless of what, family is family and blood is thicker than water? Comment under this vlog, let your girl know, so we can continue to have these controversial conversations. Don't forget, your girl is dropping the EP very soon, so you want to keep coming back to complexsimplicity.com so you can get the updates of all things EP, the complex simplicity of me. I hope you enjoy this long weekend. Most of us are off for Martin Luther King. His birthday, observing the major and amazing things that this man has contributed to history. And stay safe out there, and until next time.